And once again, I want to say greetings to each and every one of you, Aquaba, and welcome. Welcome to another round of the Conscious Roster Report here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. My name is Keedy Awadu, aka the Conscious Roster. Weekday mornings, you and I get together live. We come at you from 9 a.m. Pacific time, at 12 noon Eastern time, 5 p.m. GMT, and 7 p.m. 8 p.m. I should say, East Africa time. We get together with you and we deal with culture, consciousness, historical perspectives, entertainment, economics, education, health, labor, law, politics, religion, family, conflict, future studies, all areas of human interactivity and development. Today's date is Tuesday. It is the first day of October 2024 in the Western calendar. This corresponds to the year 6264 according to the Kemetic calendar, to which we have realigned our cultural clock. Welcome to the 7th millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. Before we go into today's program, just want to take a moment, and today we acknowledge that a tall tree in our forest has fallen. We heard this lion roar and celebrated the sound of his voice. His unselfish record of humanitarian work will outlive his life many times over. We're grateful to have witnessed the life, the grandeur of Dikembe Mutombo, the Hall of Fame NBA superstar basketball player. Dikembe Mutombo, today we give praise to your eternal name. O great ancestor, may your heart be judged as light as a feather on the scales of Ma'at. May your journey through the underworld into the hall of the great ancestors be sweet and swift. What truly a great man was he not? He was not only a giant in basketball, the second leading shot blocker in history made him into the Hall of Fame. Born in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, he was a giant, a humanitarian, and he used his basketball wealth to create paradigm shifts, building hospitals and all kind of relief humanitarian work. Dikembe Mutombo, we celebrate and we give praise to your great name. Let's go into the research for today. Today on LIB Radio, we take note of the monumental work with sickle cell disease and other maladies that stands as the ever-living legacy of Dr. Sebi Alfredo Bowman, the Honduran-born herbologist and creator of the African Bio-Mineral Balance Herbal Healing System. We examine some of Dr. Sebi's favorite herbs as he applied them toward reversing sickle cell disease. Despite much opposition, Dr. Sebi's healing work stood supreme. So we stand upon the shoulders of these giants as we reach ever closer to the stars. Let's talk about sickle cell disease. The theme of today's program is nutrition and herbal solutions for sickle cell disease. Again, this is a continuity, another chapter, and we're getting near the end of our introducing our chapters. The book called Living Superfood Solutions: How Clinical Nutrition, Food, Herbs is used to prevent and to reverse chronic diseases. We begin our examination of sickle cell disease with talking about the global burden regional and national prevalence and mortality burden, the death burden of sickle cell disease. I'm citing from a study of that name, global regional, and national prevalence and mortality burden of sickle cell disease, 2000 to 2021, a systemic analysis from the Global Burden of Disease Study 2021. And this is their sickle cell disease collaborators. This was published in the Lancet Hematology Journal, June 15, 2023. Let me put up this article so those of you following along can have access to it as well. We always encourage you to do your research. It's well worth your time, your effort, your initiative to get on point. Don't let me have all the fun. You deserve to take your bows and your salutations for what you do, what you contribute, which you know is absolutely for the greater good of our community. So going forward, bear with me here while I finish queuing up all of these monitors. I have to monitor the show in various places on my desktop. And here is the link for those of you on our various sites. Ooh, that didn't intend to be. Some odd reason. Delete all of that and try it one more time. Delete. Select all and delete. Let me try this link one more time. That link is right here from the Lancet Hematology. Copy and paste this for my second YouTube channel. There you are. You can have access to it now. Here's what they wrote. Between 2000 and 2021, national incidence rates of sickle cell disease were relatively stable, but total births of babies with sickle cell disease increased globally by 13.7%. That was between 2000 and 2021. Largely that was due to population growth in the Caribbean, Western, and Central Sub-Saharan Africa. The number of people living with sickle cell disease globally increased by 41.4% from 5.46 million in 2000 to 7.74 million in 2021. We estimated 34,400 cause-specific all-age deaths globally in 2021, but total sickle cell disease mortality burden was nearly 11 times higher at 376,000. In children younger than 5 years, there were 81,100 deaths, ranking total sickle cell disease mortality as 12th across all causes estimated by the Global Burden of Disease in 2021. Here are some of the latest statistics on sickle cell disease. Now let me switch over to this other document. Here are some of the latest statistics on sickle cell disease. Where we at? We are right here. According to the Global Burden of Diseases, Injuries and Risk Factors Study 2021, sickle cell disease affects approximately 300,000 to 400,000 people worldwide, with the majority residing in Sub-Saharan Africa, South Asia, the Middle East, and the Mediterranean. According to these various regions, the numbers for Sub-Saharan Africa, between 170,000 to 230,000 cases. South Asia, 60,000 to 80,000 cases. The Middle East and Mediterranean, 20,000 to 30,000 cases. Other regions, 10,000 to 20,000 cases. Now, I'm not sure if these numbers add up. This is raw stuff I grabbed out of this Global Burden of Disease study today, and it doesn't look right. Why? Because the very next sentence, country-specific prevalence. And they said other regions breaking the regional breakdown, 10,000 to 20,000 cases, while going to the United States, approximately 100,000 cases, which means those numbers absolutely do not reconcile. So let me just highlight this, and when I come back in to work on more detail of the book, I'll know to fix that right off the bat. Going forward, there are three main types of sickle cell that are out here. They are homozygous sickle cell disease and severe sickle cell B thalassemia, between 150,000 to 200,000. Now that word homozygous means self, zygote. So it has to do with the chromosomes. Sickle hemoglobin C disease, 40,000 to 60,000 cases, and mild sickle cell B thalassemia is 10,000 to 20,000 cases. Note, these are based on the latest available data from the Global Burden of Disease, Injuries, and Risk Factors Study 2021 and the United States data from 2024. The numbers may vary slightly or they may vary greatly, as we saw, depending on the source and the methodology used. Again, it says United States approximately 100,000 people are affected by sickle cell disease. The majority of those affected are non-Hispanic, Black, or African American, with an estimated 3.9% being Hispanic or Latino. And again, when we're talking about Hispanic or Latino, that does include Afro-Latinos. So we have to always keep that in mind. Afro-Latinos should not be separated from Black non-Hispanics. Global prevalence. The number of people living with sickle cell disease worldwide increased by 41.4% from 2000 to 2021, reaching approximately 7.74 million people worldwide. Insofar as mortality, death, sickle cell disease is a leading cause of death in children under 5 years old, as well as in youth aged 5 to 14 and adults aged 15 to 49. In 2021, about 500,000 babies were born with sickle cell disease, with 79% of these births occurring in sub-Saharan Africa. So let's get into the work. Much of what I'm sharing right now has been gone through, edited. I'm still rewriting. I will be rewriting up until days before the book goes to the printer. The hallmarks of sickle cell disease. Sickle cell disease is a genetic blood disorder characterized by the presence of abnormal hemoglobin, known as hemoglobin S. Here are some of the key hallmarks of the disease. Point: abnormal hemoglobin. A mutation on the hemoglobin S gene leads to the production of abnormal hemoglobin, which causes red blood cells to take on a sickle or crescent shape, especially under low oxygen conditions. The primary hallmark is the presence of hemoglobin S, which causes red blood cells to become ill-formed. Point 2. Sickle-shaped red blood cells, and the abnormal hemoglobin causes red blood cells to become rigid, sticky, and shaped like a crescent or sickle. Their misshapen formation and reduced flexibility block blood flow to various parts of the body and to tiny blood vessels to the chest, abdomen, and joints. Point: chronic hemolytic anemia. The sickle cells are fragile and break down more easily than normal red blood cells, leading to a shortage of red blood cells, anemia, that can cause fatigue and weakness. The sickling of red blood cells leads to a constant shortage of healthy red blood cells, resulting in anemia. Sickle cells are prone to breaking apart hemolysis, leading to a constant shortage of red blood cells. And here we go. Let's continue. Point: genetic inheritance. Sickle cell disease is an inherited disorder, typically passed down from a parent with the sickle cell gene. And it's also said two parents with the genetic alteration is also a key hallmark as well of passing that on. I'll come back and share more research on that. Pain crises. How we talk about the hallmarks. Individuals with sickle cell disease may experience episodes of severe pain, known as sickle cell crises, due to the blockage of blood flow in the vessels. The severity of symptoms and complications varies from person to person and can change over time. These painful vaso-occlusive crises occur due to blocked blood flow and frequently require medical attention. Point: recurrent infections. The spleen, which helps fight infections, can be damaged by sickle cells, leading to a higher susceptibility to infections. The abnormal red blood cells are more susceptible to damage and destruction, leading to higher risk of infections. Sickle cells damage the spleen, an organ that helps fight infections, making individuals more susceptible to infections. Again, that was repeated, which is when I'm doing the research for writing, quite often I will copy different sources into one paragraph and then edit it down. So that's what I had to do right there. Here we go. Organ damage. Chronic pain, stroke, lung problems, eye problems, infections, and kidney disease are common complications of sickle cell disease. Over time, repeated episodes of sickling can damage various organs, including the liver, the kidneys, lungs, heart, and the brain. Another hallmark: delayed growth. Children with sickle cell disease may experience delayed growth and puberty due to chronic anemia, nutrient deficiencies, and the body's increased energy demands. So that will result in stunted growth. Point: vision problems. Blockages in the blood vessels that supply the eyes can lead to vision issues. Stroke. The abnormal cells can block blood flow to the brain, leading to an increased risk of stroke even in young children. And what we're describing here is just a horrible, horrifying disease and acute chest syndrome. This is a severe complication characterized by chest pain, fever, and difficulty breathing, often triggered by infection or blocked blood vessels in the lungs. So now let's start to talk about remedies. The first remedy I'm putting on the table is Artemisia annua, one of my very favorite go-to herbs across a broad spectrum. One of the uses that I have had for Artemisia annua is I take it with me when I'm traveling to Jamaica or traveling to Africa because of the mosquito bites, to prevent malaria. If not prevent it outright, because I did get malaria when I went to Uganda and I had been using it, but to definitely mitigate the problem of malaria. So Artemisia annua, also known as sweet wormwood, sweet Annie, or annual wormwood, has been traditionally used in African and Chinese medicine for various ailments, including fever, inflammation, and malaria. Recent studies have explored its potential benefits for sickle cell disease relief because, let me just put this in, because of its ability to increase oxygen carrying, bear with me, capacity of hemoglobin. That's right. Among the many hallmarks of this powerful non-toxic herb are, point one, in vitro studies, research has shown that artemisinin, the active compound in Artemisia annua, exhibits cytotoxic effects against tumor cell lines and protozoal infections, including leishmaniasis and Chagas disease. Similarly, and leishmaniasis is a bacterial infection, Chagas disease caught from ticks. Similarly, studies suggest that artemisinin may be effective against sickle cell disease by inducing apoptosis, cell death, and cell cycle arrest in Leishmania donovani promastigotes, a parasite that infects individuals with sickle cell disease. So again, a good anti-parasitic, no doubt, that Artemisia annua, or artemisinin, which is the extract. Antioxidant and inflammatory properties, he says, as he corrects a little bit of formatting. Here we go. Antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Artemisia annua extracts have been found to possess antioxidant and anti-inflammatory activities, which may help alleviate oxidative stress and inflammation associated with sickle cell disease. The potential mechanism. The exact mechanism by which Artemisia may provide relief for sickle cell disease are not fully understood. Well, I fully understand it. So let me highlight that and remove that. I'll highlight that and correct that or remove it a little bit later. However, it is thought that artemisinin's ability to induce apoptosis and cell cycle arrest in infected cells may help reduce parasite burden and alleviate symptoms. Last point, couple more points here about future directions. It says, bear with me, I clicked on something and it seemed to lock up for a second. Future directions. While preliminary studies are promising, more future research is needed to determine the safety and efficacy of Artemisia annua extracts or derivatives for sickle cell disease treatment. Bear with me here. I have to correct this. Here we go. Further investigations into its potential mechanisms and optimal dosing regimens is required to fully understand its therapeutic potential. I can just remove that whole paragraph because that didn't mean anything. Conclusion. Artemisia annua, with its rich history in traditional medicine, may hold promise for sickle cell disease relief. Its antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, oxygenating, and cytotoxic properties make it a supreme candidate for utilization in the treatment of sickle cell disease. Okay, not bad, as you can tell. Still a little bit more editing to do on that particular point. We welcome your listening audience as you join us today. If you can, hit the like button on your viewing browser, wherever you're viewing. If you are on YouTube, We are up under my name, Kedia Wadu. If you are up on You Now, you know you got us at LIB Radio. And just drop in a word. I see you in the house, Aliyah Danielle Aquaba. Welcome to you. I hope you are in beautiful spirits today. And for our Rumble family, we're always glad to have you in the house. Hit the like button, everybody out there. And if you have something that you want to share with us, you let us know. As today we're talking about nutritional and herbal solutions for sickle cell disease. Let us continue today's conversation. And I'm reading from the chapter of the upcoming book. The chapter is entitled Sickle Cell Disease. And it's actually nutrition and herbal solutions for sickle cell disease. Now, let's talk about the Sebi method for reversing sickle cell disease. We must always keep in mind that as we reach for the stars, we stand upon the shoulders of giants. What herbs were used by Dr. Sebi for sickle cell disease? He recommended several herbs for managing sickle cell disease, focusing on cleansing and revitalizing the body. Here are some of the herbs that Dr. Sebi used for sickle cell disease. And for some odd reason, I may have to just replace my mouse and keyboard for this computer because it sucks anymore. Okay. Dr. Sebi recommended several herbs for managing sickle cell disease, focusing on cleansing and revitalizing the body. Here are some of the herbs he mentioned. His formula, the African Bio-Mineral Balance compounds, were designed to cleanse and rejuvenate the body. He used a combination of African herbs along with those commonly used in Central America. Among Dr. Sebi's favorites were, number one, burdock root. Burdock root is a native vegetable used in holistic medicine for centuries. It's rich in antioxidants and has been traditionally used to treat skin conditions, digestive issues, and as a blood purifier to rid the liver of toxins. Modern research supports its ability to stimulate digestion, reduce inflammation, and exhibit antimicrobial properties. Side effects are rare, but may include allergic reactions or interactions with diabetes medication, meaning that the problem is not the burdock root, the problem is the diabetes medications that people are commonly taking. And I encourage people to consider when you are on pharmaceutical drugs and they warn us to not use certain herbs because of the presence of these pharmaceutical drugs. And bear with me here as I have a little office issue to deal with. Yeah, they warn you, well, don't take that herb because it can cross-react with this drug. You need to look up those medications on their own for side effects. And then look up the side effects of the herbs. Then you need to weigh and balance which set of side effects from the pharmaceutical drugs or the natural herbs would you prefer be the only ones that you will risk. Quite simply, quite often you will find that the side effects from the pharmaceutical drugs can be far more pathogenic. That was burdock root. Number two of Dr. Sebi's favorites, dandelion. Dandelion, a common weed. No, it's not a weed. It is not a weed. It is a common herb, often regarded as a weed, has been used in traditional medicine to treat digestive issues, liver and kidney problems, and skin condition, and also, for me, a blood purifier and various skin conditions. Modern research is focused on its potential to stimulate digestion, reduce inflammation, and exhibit antimicrobial properties. That's dandelion. Number 3 on this list, elderberry. Elderberry supports the immune system and overall health. It is a shrub native to Europe and North America. Its berries, flowers, and leaves have been used in traditional medicine to treat various ailments, including colds, flu, and respiratory issues. Modern research has confirmed its antiviral properties, particularly against influenza and herpes viruses. Elderberry is also rich in antioxidants and has been shown to reduce inflammation and improve cardiovascular health. And I will add to that, as a treatment for sciatica, sciatica, and improve cardiovascular health. Elderberry, beautiful, beautiful. We love berries without a shadow of a doubt. Next is entitled Fagara. Also, its scientific name F. xanthoxylate. No, let me get it right. Xanthoxyloides. Xanthoxyloides. That's what it is. Dr. Sebi mentioned using Fagara, a relative of prickly ash bark, to reduce platelet and blood cell sticking, which is relevant to sickle cell disease. Fagara is also known as prickly ash, is a shrub native to Africa and Asia. Its bark and leaves have been used in traditional medicine to treat fever, rheumatism, and skin conditions. Modern research has focused on its antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties, as well as its potential to reduce pain and improve digestion. Now, it said a relative of prickly ash bark in the same paragraph. I'm going to correct these things. But it also said also known as prickly ash. So don't be surprised. In a little bit, I have a separate entry for prickly ash, and I'll reconcile them as well. But next on the list is Irish moss. We heard Dr. Sebi talk a lot about sea moss, Irish moss. And here, one second, let me correct this. Sea moss, also known as Irish moss, provides essential minerals and vitamins. Irish moss, also known as carrageen moss, is a red algae native to Ireland and other parts of Europe. It has been used as a thickening agent in food and as a natural remedy for digestive issues, skin conditions, and respiratory problems. Modern research has focused on its potential to reduce inflammation, improve wound healing, and exhibit antimicrobial properties. I'll drink to that, he says. Again, we are today going over herbal and nutrition remedies for sickle cell, and specifically focusing on Dr. Sebi's favorite herbs that he talked about using for his spectrum of disorders that he successfully treated. The next on the list is Kalawala, derived from the fern Polypodium leucotomos, is known for its potential health benefits. Traditionally used in herbal medicine, it is believed to possess anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and immune-boosting properties. Kalawala is used to help manage skin conditions like psoriasis and eczema, promote skin health, and reduce inflammation. Additionally, it is thought to support liver health and may aid in detoxification. Some studies suggest it could have protective effects against ultraviolet radiation, making it beneficial for skin protection. Next on the list is muicle, Mexican honeysuckle. Dr. Sebi mentioned using muicle, a tropical herb used to treat sickle cell disease. It is a flowering vine native to Mexico and Central America. Sebi claimed that a patient, Emma Wright, was cured of sickle cell anemia after using muicle as part of his dietary regimen. Mexican honeysuckle is traditionally used for anemia and to treat fever, rheumatism, and skin conditions. Its leaves and stems have long been used in traditional medicine, and modern research has confirmed its antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties, as well as its potential to reduce pain and inflammation. Next on this list, nettle leaf. From the Urtica doica plant, is rich in vitamins A, C, K, and several B vitamins, as well as minerals like iron and calcium. It has been used in traditional medicine to treat allergies, arthritis, and skin conditions, and as a diuretic. Modern research has confirmed its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, as well as its potential to reduce blood pressure, improve cardiovascular function, support urinary health, and improve skin conditions. Nettle leaf is also used to boost energy and overall vitality. And I know I do use stinging nettle leaf extract, which boosts testosterone production or free testosterone circulation in men's blood. So nettle and stinging nettle, I'm pretty sure it's the same, but I have to confirm that here. Let me make a note to self. Stinging nettle with a question mark, and I'll come back and check that out later. Next, prickly ash bark. We mentioned this earlier when we talked about Fagara. Dr. Sebi mentioned using prickly ash bark, a relative of Fagara, for the same indication as Fagara, likely to reduce platelet and blood cell sticking. From the Xanthosxylum americanum tree, prickly ash bark has been used in traditional medicine to treat toothaches, sore throats, and skin conditions. Modern research has confirmed its antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties, as well as its potential to reduce pain and improve digestion. Next, among Dr. Sebi's arsenal, sarsaparilla, or in America, the Western movies used to call it sarsaparilla. Sarsaparilla is a climbing vine native to Central and South America. Its root has been used in traditional medicine to treat skin conditions, rheumatism, and as a diuretic. It's also been used to reduce fever and alleviate symptoms of syphilis. Modern research has focused on its antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties, as well as its potential to reduce blood pressure and cholesterol levels. Sarsaparilla. Wouldn't you know? Yeah, awesome. Next, yellow dock. A plant native to Europe and Asia, yellow dock has been used in traditional medicine to treat disorders, to treat skin conditions, digestive issues, and as a blood purifier to rid the liver of toxins. Modern research confirmed its antioxidant, anti-inflammatory properties, as well as its potential to reduce inflammation and improve cardiovascular health. It is essential to note that Dr. Sabi's approach to treating sickle cell disease was based on his unique methodology, which combined herbal remedies with dietary shifts and cellular cleansing. While some of these herbs have definitely shown great promise, it is crucial to emphasize that Dr. Sabi's claims, now this is from a AI search, I just copy, cut, and paste, and this is the kind of stuff I have to correct because there is a bias across the internet that's reflected when they hate on people like Dr. Sabi. And the mainstream medical industries, Wikipedia, AMA, hated on Dr. Sabi. That is true. While we loved Dr. Sabi to his core. While some of these herbs may have shown great promise, it is crucial to emphasize that Dr. Sabi's claims and methods have not been extensively scientifically validated or widely accepted by the mainstream allopathic medical community. And so we understand by putting that qualifier in, mainstream allopathic medical community, we understand who they are and in what context we would hold them. Let's go back into my raw research for today. I'm looking for where I left off because I do this in a separate document and then I copy, cut, and paste it and go on to my final version, which will be in the book. So this is going back to my raw data here. We're looking at Dr. Sabi, an herbalist, self-proclaimed healer, advocated for a wide variety of natural remedies and dietary changes to address various health conditions, including sickle cell disease. He suggested using a combination of herbs and plants that he believed could support overall health and potentially improve conditions related to sickle cell disease. So we're going to go deeper into some of these herbs. Oh, I did that already. I don't want to overlap myself. Oh, okay. I found this other herb that is said didn't exist. And so let me do this real quickly. Santa Maria, also known as Tanacetum parthenium, or feverfew, is a medicinal herb used to treat migraines, arthritis, and fever. It also contains parthenolide, a compound with anti-inflammatory and pain-relieving properties. Feverfew is also used to reduce menstrual pain and support overall health. It has been traditionally used to treat various inflammatory conditions and improve circulation. So we know this one, Santa Maria, which they said doesn't exist, does exist. Now let me go back to my herb list and put this up in that list. Bear with me. In alphabetical order, it's going to be feverfew. What was it? Here, let me put this in the list. 1 second. Copy and paste this here. Santa Maria, also known as feverfew. So that's what I'm going to put his name as. Feverfew. Feverfew. And then that will be Santa Maria in parentheses. And here you go. A little editing, book correcting on the fly. Bold that, save that, and let's go back over here and see what else I'm discovering I already had. We talked about burdock root, sarsaparilla, elderberry, and also elderberry is good for, did I mention sciatica? elderberry, because it's an anti-inflammatory, can cause the nerves that become the problem of sciatica. When the nerves swell and get pinched inside a bone cartilage, what can cause the swelling to go down, relieving pain. I was dealing with one of my clients was diagnosed with colorectal cancer, which then metastasized into bone cancer, and he was in quite a bit of sciatic pain. He could not walk, and so after just 3 days of elderberry extract and a number of different herbs, I had him on quite a regime of herbs and living food, superfood. But after about 3 days of that, he was able to get out of bed and actually start walking to the bathroom, which he could not do before. So that elderberry extract, it does work, people. It does work. If you're in any kind of nerve pain, no nerve-associated inflammatory pain, put that elderberry on your shopping list. We talked about Irish moss, sea moss, muclay. We talked about that one, prickly ash. Got all of those in. And let me see, did I miss any here? Again, I'm combining all of these different ones. Okay, so I pretty much got through that. Let me just share one more story here before I begin to wrap it up for today. When I was living in Los Angeles in the early 2000s, there was a period when I was detached from having a home. And I slept on the floor in a museum owned by my friend Oren Z. Oren Z's Black Facts and Wax Museum. If you're out there listening to Oren Z, yeah, I'm talking about you, man. You know you're cool. And he had a friend who had come in from Tennessee. And she was suffering from sickle cell disease. And sickle cell disease, I had one other friend. She's gone on to the realm of the ancestors now. But sickle cell disease is a terrible, terrible, painful disease. And this woman whose name I can't recall, had come in from Tennessee, was suffering from the sickle cell crises. And when someone's suffering from the sickle cell crises, you'll see them just lock up in pain because the blood is not circulating through the body. It's clumping around the body, and it's non-specific. It's just a generalized pain. And on the scale of 1 to 10, she reported her pain at being about an 8, sometimes a 9. And at age 8, at number 8, she couldn't get out of bed. The pain was so bad. At 9, a person is on the verge of death. And so she went to see Dr. Sebi. And Dr. Sebi treated her for 3 weeks before she had to return to Tennessee. And before she did return, I talked to her, and I may have interviewed her on LIB radio, but I don't recall the broadcast. I'll have to go back and see. But she returned, and she said that after 3 weeks of being treated by Dr. Sebi, he changed her diet, put her on raw juices every day, vegetable juices. He put her on his African bio-mineral balance herbal system, and he put her serious on a detox. So combining the detox, the African herbs, which we just listed, that made up the bio-mineral balance, and the nutrition, meaning the juicing and raw foods. I asked her how she felt before she left to go back to Tennessee. She said the pain index had gone from about a 7, 8, or a 9 down to a 2. That she still was having pains, but she was functional. She could walk, she could be in a room. She wasn't agonizing like she was at the first time I had these conversations with her about her condition. And so she went back home, and then I communicated with her about 30 days after she got home. And she said that she and her doctor had at that point determined she no longer was suffering from sickle cell disease. 30 days and a week or 2. That's the Sebi method, people. I saw it firsthand. I had it explained to me firsthand by this woman who had no reason at all to lie or distort the truth of what was going on in her life. This is who Dr. Sebi was. This was the brilliance of this man who I was very fortunate to call my friend over the course of about 25 years or so. I knew Dr. Sebi. He is now in the realm of the great ancestors, lived to be, I think, 83, might have been 84 years of age. His 84th year, I believe it was. And Dr. Sebi left us too soon. Dr. Goss left us too soon. Dr. Laila Africa left us too soon. Tim Morrow left us too soon. And others. Longevity is quite a blessing, and so we would wish that we who carry on this legacy would enjoy those extra years that our great ancestor did not yet fulfill. Dr. Sebi lives on in hearts and the minds of those of us who loved him, who learned from him, who studied from him, who stood upon his shoulders, the tall giant that he was. Dr. Sebi lives. Dr. Sebi lives on, and to his family that carry on his legacy and continue to bring his products to the world, we salute every one of you. We salute everyone who gives Dr. Sebi his grace as we now continue this great work for this great man. Sebi lives. And again, at the top of today's conversation, another great man we acknowledge, the transition, dead at age 58 years from a brain tumor, from brain cancer. NBA Hall of Famer Dikembe Mutombo, who before, during, and after his career consolidated his role as a profound humanitarian. That is his greatest legacy. Oh yeah, we loved him on the basketball court. We loved him in the TV commercials. We loved his voice, which was the voice of granite. And we love your legacy, Dikembe Mutombo. We love you. We love your legacy. Praise be your family. Praise be your eternal memory, oh great ancestor. And on that note, we've done our job for today. Let me see if anybody was talking to me at all today. I would need to know about it, because I need to acknowledge you, acknowledging us. And yeah, I'm still working on that, on this chapter. I didn't, in fact, what I didn't have for today, and I could just deal on this, that hallmarks of the Sebi method, nutritional hallmarks of the Sebi method for sickle cell disease would have included undeniably, let me format this so I know I'm starting another subchapter here, would have included, no doubt, African foods that are alkaline in nature. Now, to do that, to pull that up, I have this document here already set up that I will be able to just kind of, to some extent, copy, cut, and paste this document, which is, I share with my clients. I shared with a client just yesterday my 10-point anti-inflammatory protocol. Where's you is 10-point anti-inflammatory nutritional protocol. So we're talking about alkaline foods from the Sebi method. I can just copy, cut, and paste these two paragraphs. Are just perfect for what I'm writing in the book. Alkaline foods, alkaline in nature, and paste here. So, First, increase all alkaline foods in your daily diet. Maximize your consumption of raw and organic if possible. Greens, including kale, spinach, mustard, collards, chard. Dark colored fruits, including blueberries, blackberries, dark grapes, raisins, prunes, plums. Sea vegetables of all sorts, including sea moss / Irish moss. Vegetable juices, detoxing juices like pomegranate, blueberry, cranberry, lemon, lime, and grapefruit. And orange-colored fruits and vegetables, yams, carrots. Dr. Sebi did not like carrots. And let me just make a note. Dr. Sebi did not like carrots. Let me give him his props. Papaya, mango, apricots, cantaloupe, oranges, tangerines. Love all of those orange fruits. Also, we're talking about alkaline foods. Find a Korean grocery store and buy some vegan kimchi to balance the gut bacteria. These are alkalinizing foods. Alkaline foods, very, very important. African foods that are alkaline in nature. Here, bear with me. I'm actually formatting on the book. Since nobody's talking to me, I can format a book at the same time I'm writing or I'm reading from it. And then next is avoid, minimize, or completely eliminate all acidic foods. These include red meat, dairy and cheese, chicken and turkey, fried foods, white flour containing bread, pastry and pasta, anything with refined sugar, sodas, candy, processed foods, ice cream, cakes, and pies, as well as high fructose corn syrup, HFCS, high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup should be considered as just straightforward toxin, poison. That's right. As well, eliminate processed oils such as soy oil, canola, vegetable, corn, and hydrogenated oils. Get your proteins, which are full spectrum amino acids, from clean sources such as seed oils, hemp seeds, organic sprouted tofu, tempeh, sesame seeds, flax seeds, fenugreek seeds or fenugreek meal, lentils, green peas, chickpeas, also known as garbanzos, cooked beans, sea vegetables, black and wild rice, along with raw mixed nuts. Those are sources of clean proteins. And we cannot overemphasize that clean aspect of eating food. Going forward, I'm going back to the document that I pulled up. Use herbal teas instead of coffee. Great teas include green tea, rooibos, Paul d'Arco, ginger, chamomile, peppermint, echinacea, lemon balm, sage, and rose hips. Add to your tea spices like cinnamon, turmeric, cayenne pepper, ginger powder, vanilla, and sweeten with wild desert honey, raw agave, raw cane sugar, coconut palm sugar, or maple syrup, and I should say minimally sweetened, using those. Very, very important. So, on that note, felt like an ant crawled up my leg and bit me. We had these little tiny ants that like to sneak in this time of the year. So, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. We're giving you real, live, living superfood solutions for chronic diseases. In the book, we've gotten really quite thorough, and I'm very proud of what has been written so far. Just real briefly, I'm looking at the book to take you just through some of the headers of the different chapters that we've covered so far with our study. Today we talked about nutrition, sickle cell disease. Yesterday we took on nutritional management of mental health. Before that, chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases was the subject. Before that, bone health and nutrition. The chapter before that, inflammation and diet. We talked about the best foods for a healthy microbiome, gut health and chronic disease. We talked about end-stage kidney disease. And bear with me, why does this keep opening up this stuff I don't want to see? We had a chapter in the book on vitiligo as an autoimmune disorders. Another chapter combating obesity through nutrition, managing diabetes with diet. Another chapter, superfood versus cancer, who wins? Another chapter, dietary strategies for cardiovascular disease. And we began with the science behind nutrition and health. So these are the chapters of the book so far. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Today was our 13th chapter, and there are 2 more chapters. We already did cover the chapter called The Benefits of a 3-Day Water Fast. So tomorrow, well, actually not tomorrow, next Monday, will be the last chapter that we'll be presenting. Before I present the summary to the book, the next chapter will be chronic immune insufficiency diseases. You may know that more commonly as AIDS, but AIDS is just one of a number of different defined manifestations of chronic immune insufficiency diseases. So first I'm going to start off on the next one. I was making a note to myself. List all known names for CIID, chronic immune insufficiency diseases. And so that's going to get real interesting when you'll find there were a bunch of different names for chronic immune insufficiency diseases. I'm proud of the work that I do. I hope you do appreciate it. I really do. I do this out of service for what I deem to be, what we deem to be, a truly, truly great people. And as a great people, we intend to manifest in our lives, in our generation, the greatness which we have inherited and that we will pass on. If you have been listening today, I hope you did take the time to just hit the like button. I didn't have big numbers for today. I thought I would have a good sized audience. Could be something else is going on. May have people's attention. There was a big news story this day. I know the expansion of the war in Western Asia has taken another leap as the rogue nation invaded yet another nation's territory. We've got to get our global African power together so we can be the ones to say to the world, despite the fact that the UN has been here since, what, 75 years, and it's become a lame dog, a puppet in the hands of Western hegemony. A new order is coming on the planet, people, but the lines between old orders and new orders are many times very jagged, very sharp, and very damaged. You can cut yourself. But the new order, new global order, is coming into being. We're going to survive the next 50 years and make it to that. And we're going to survive with our children and make it to that. Don't dismiss what I'm saying. Read my book, Fade to Black, The Passing of a Great Race, and you will understand why I am so adamant about what we can do, what we have to do to better preserve our people. The book again called Fade to Black, The Passing of a Great Race. On that note, I want to thank you all for tuning in today to your favorite. We aim to be your favorite. We are LIB Radio. We are LIB TV. We are livinginblack.com. Tell your friends to tell their friends. We have our own now. And we're very proud of what we've built. We're very proud of who we are. We're very proud of what we are connected to and where Providence would have us go for this generation and for many, many more generations to come. That's why you tune in to LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. That's why many of you tell your friends to tell their friends we have our own. And that ours is no lightweight operation. We are no lightweight people. We are the heavies. We are as capable, as competent, as well-read, well-informed, and as disciplined as any other group as we compete for the future of this beautiful pearl, water-covered pearl of a planet floating through the galaxy we call Mother Earth. Mother Earth is calling all of us to step up, and let's create a major paradigm shift on your favorite LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com.